Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Blitz. I'm your host, Daniel Fleming. I'm so excited because college football is almost here. And this week, we're going to talk a little bit about the University of Auburn. And we're going to focus specifically on their offense and their special teams. And we'll talk a little bit about their schedule as well. But I'm so excited because we have a very special guest for the very first time on the Sports Blitz. And I can't think of anybody better to talk about Auburn football than my best friend of 21 years and certainly the biggest Auburn fan that I know. His name is Luke Gaiters. What's up, Luke?
How you guys doing out there? My name is Luke Gaiters, diehard Auburn type of fan. Let's talk some Auburn football.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm super excited about the Auburn Tigers season coming up. And when we talk about Auburn's offense, obviously, for anybody that's been paying attention, they have a new offensive coordinator. His name is Scott Leffler. He was the offensive coordinator at Temple last year, and he's also coached at Michigan and at Florida. And he has a quarterback race going on between two guys. You've got Kyle Frazier and you've got Clint Mosley. And I'm going to let Luke talk a little bit more, about each guy and who he thinks should be the starter.
First of all, let's look at what we have here. We have Clint Mosley, started last year, came out, did some good things, not quite as efficient as you like in a quarterback, but still he's subpar, not tremendous arm strength, not as accurate as you like as a quarterback, but I believe that he'll be going into the season as a starter for the simple fact he does have that experience. But then on the other hand, you got tremendous upside in Kyle Frazier, especially when it comes to running spread offense. Didn't throw for many passes last year. He only threw for like 12 or 13 passes. But as time goes on, I'm looking for the new offensive coordinator to get him in there, get his feet wet a little bit. And I'm looking at him to eventually become the starter somewhere probably midway through the season. Like I said, tremendous upside. He has pretty decent arm streak, tremendous speed. Just a matter of fact of him getting in there and getting some experience and seeing what he can do for our offense.
Absolutely, and we'll have to wait and see which guy ends up being the starter. And regardless of who the starter is, they're going to have a pretty good complement of skill position players led by Ontario McCaleb, who is a very good running back. He's a little small in stature. He's only 5'11" and weighs about 174 pounds, and that might be a little bit generous. But he's obviously a speedster. He's a very good running back, but he just doesn't have the physical build to be an every down running back, I don't think. And you also have Trey Mason there, who is a little bit more of a physical running back, and he's also very good on special teams. And you also have Emory Blake at wide receiver and Philip Letzenkirchen at tight end, who are outstanding players, and it's going to be very important for those guys to make the job easier for whoever the starting quarterback is going to be. And I really feel like, having said all that, the real strength of this team is going to be their offensive line. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Our offensive line, we got some guys coming back from last year. Last year started out kind of rough because they were young, didn't have a lot of experience, especially from that previous offensive line we had the year before that, where we lost 4 starters that had been together for a while. So that offensive line was pretty tough. But I want to piggyback on what you were saying earlier about the running backs. It's going to be. I'm really interested in seeing what Trey Mason is going to bring to that offense, especially now that he's going to be getting a lot more touches because of the simple fact McCaleb's not an all-down back because he's so small, and then we lost Michael Dyer down to Arkansas State down there with Gus Malzahn. So I'm real interested in seeing what Trey Mason's going to bring to the offense. Another thing is I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to step up in that number 2 receiver spot. Quan Bray looks like he's going to be pretty good. Benson, those guys looking to see who can step up and take that number 2 receiver spot because we're going to need somebody to complement Blake and Letzenkirchen.
Absolutely. It's going to be so important because if you're having an offense where there's only 1 or 2 guys, you can just easily double team one of them. And so it's going to be very important for somebody else, like you said, to step in and be that number 2 receiver. And again, it's about finding the skill position players to make the job easier on whoever the quarterback is going to be. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And as far as Auburn's special teams is concerned, you've got Cody Parkey, who is, to me, a very good place kicker. He went 13 out of 18 last season. And the punter, Stephen Clark, averaged just under 41 yards a punt last season. So we'll have to see if those guys can build upon what they did last season. Now, as far as Auburn's schedule is concerned, it's going to be pretty tough. And Luke, I know you would agree the SEC is hands down the best conference in college football, and it's going to be very tough, for you guys to navigate through the schedule that y'all have this year.
Exactly. We start off the game tough start off the season with a tough Clemson team, but they're going to be without their All-American receiver, Sammy, I believe is his name.
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins. Yeah, so they're going to be without him. So that lightens the load a little bit. That game was immediately after that we jumped right into SEC play Mississippi State. And Mississippi State on the rise in the SEC, but lucky for us, we got to play some of the SEC powerhouses in the SEC West. You got Arkansas, you got LSU, you got Bama, obviously. And those three, lucky for us, we have 2 of those 3 games at home against LSU and Georgia. Hopefully, home field advantage will work for us in those cases, because I still believe that we're subpar below a lot of those teams as far as talent-wise is concerned. But nonetheless, it's the SEC. Grinded out football every week, week in and week out. Let's get ready to roll. Let's look and see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. I'm super excited. And as far as my prediction on what Auburn's record is going to be this year, I think Auburn's going to go 8-4. And again, like we said, it's a very tough schedule. But you guys do get LSU, Arkansas, and Georgia all at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And I'm speaking from experience. That's one of the loudest stadiums in all of college football. And then, of course, you got the Iron Bowl. Obviously, anything can happen in that game. 2 years ago, the last time the Iron Bowl was played in Tuscaloosa, Auburn was able to pull off what many feel was their greatest Iron Bowl victory, and they've had plenty of them, against Alabama. So we'll have to see, what happens. And I know you're going to be hoping, that Auburn's going to be able to, pull off the upset of the Iron Bowl again this year.
Exactly, and that's why I disagree. We're not going to go 8-4. We're going 9-3. We're going to go in Alabama. We're going to kick some tail. War damn me.
Yeah, that could easily happen. Like I said, in a rivalry game, anything can happen. So, we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm already excited for the Iron Bowl, and we've got so many games coming up before that as well. So that's about it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Luke, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome, man. Anytime, you guys. Stay tuned. Keep watching my boy Daniel do his thing on the blitz.
That's right. I hope you guys enjoyed it this week, and I'll see all of you next week.